We'll start here. So we were last session we are understanding the five sheets, five layers of superimposition on our true nature. Even though that real self is independent, free from any change, reaction, anxiety, that real self is of the nature of permanent peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. But because of the superimposition, we experience suffering, reaction, anxiety. Should I tell you the secret? This ego and the false I is created by the five sheets. Even though none of the five sheet has any I-ness. Does the body says, here I am? Does the energy says, here I am? Does the mind? Look at these five sheets. These five sheets together creates a false I, and there starts a struggle between the false I has a struggle that superimposes every time it superimposes in every situation, in every thought, in every speech, in every action. And that causes the suffering. That is the surprise element. That is why we need to understand clearly. So then we will find out that this false I today had a higher level of energy, so it reacted. It went into a wrong direction. Oh, the false I dominated through the mental sheath, and then it became emotionally dependent. It rationalizes the fourth sheath, that is the intellect. Once we know. So it means, any of these five sheaths stuck in our daily living, thinking, speaking, acting. Oh, what a big deal, only two people. So we will take the session next week. Think of the false I. When we say spirituality, I'm not going in detail. The values are always spiritual, and they manifest through these five sheets, and that results into peace and happiness. So we have understood that real self is none of the three bodies, the real self is none of the five sheets. Now, question is very important. How the five sheet works to understand through the symptoms, through the effects in our thought, in our speech, in our action. When adverse situation enters life, the mind recognizes the adverse situation. When world outside to blame for our problems and pain. When adverse situations enters life, when world outside to blame for our problems, when honey traps you to react. It's not a honey trap. Did you understand? When honey traps you to react, when body says, look, so much of pain, I don't want to go anywhere. When some near ones dies and the mind says grieve, even you don't feel like grieving. Have you seen that? Many times it takes place. When you experience fear, failure, frustration, fright, fight, flight, we use the word stress. The reaction to the stress is fright, flight, and fight. When people around you press you, force you to do something that you don't want to do, when you have hundreds of symptoms of suffering, Paul says, live with me, work with me. I will show you the way to end suffering. And that is how I used to express in a different way that we are doing the same thing again and again and expecting a different result. So the moment that knowledge comes, be alarmed, become aware, false eye is working. And once this false eye works, you are the best person in your field. It doesn't work. You are the best honey, it will not work. Think. We have to think. So we have realized these symptoms, they definitely come in everyone's life. Situation, people, relations, they definitely come in our life. Sir, you are a great master. Very good. I'm a great master. So, are you asking that I'm a good teacher not to charge you anything? Your value, your symptoms, effect is always very clear. And the teacher knows it because they have undergone the same thing. Question is what to do. Now I know the symptoms. I have understood these symptoms, what to do. When I experience these symptoms, and I know that these symptoms may lead me to anxiety, duality, conflict, stress, reaction, blame, complaint, gain. So you cannot say a person, hold on, let me think it over, and let me think it over, and I will revert back to you. The guy will be more angry. The honey will be more angry. So you are doing the practice days after days, weeks after weeks. You are remembering, you are repeating it, and still something lacks. We know it. Question is what to do 24 by 7. Yeah. Is that question uh, in your mind? At least we know, we pick up the symptoms, we pick up the effect. I'm talking to the honey, and the mind now is ready to react. Those vibes are there, those sensations are there. We can easily experience these symptoms. So we have to attack those symptoms instantly. We don't have a time to think. But if you are a seeker, you continue your journey every day. every week, in every situation, and then, which is extremely famous. Now I'm giving another perspective, which is extremely famous in India, I would say. This is written by the Shankaracharya, and we keep singing it, even with anger and reaction. It does not impact us. How to drop individuality caused by the outermost sheath, the physical sheath, how to drop those symptoms dominated by the energy sheath, by the mental sheath, by the intellectual sheath, and by the causal sheath. So when these thoughts are always there in your head, instantly those symptoms changes. So now see that, this is the first outermost layer. So if I remember means I have a knowledge. Knowledge means I'm aware of it. Awareness means awareness. Knowledge, experience are synonymous. You may become a singer by chanting these, but we don't want to be a singer. We want to be a seeker. Mano buddhir ahankara chittaninaham न च श्रोत्रजिह्वै न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायु चिदानन्दरूप शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. In times of the physical pain or physical symptoms, what this four line means: I am not the mind, the intellect, and the ego or the memory. You recognize reaction, anxiety, physical pain has to do with the ego. I am not the mind, the intellect, the ego, or the memory. I am not the ears. I am not the ears, the eyes, all the five sense organs. I am not the space, not the earth, not the fire, water, or the air. I am of the form of consciousness and bliss. I am the eternal Shiva. Because we want an immediate treatment, so that even in the beginning, if you are the highest level of a seeker, it takes no time. But if we are not, even when we repeat, we remember, we minimize the impact. So this pertains to the physical body. I will come back again. So how to drop the individuality, that false I. If there is no false I, you don't have any symptoms. If you don't have that false I created because of all these five sheaths, you have a physical pain. You go for a treatment, but the mind does not suffer. Come back to the false I. To drop that energy sheath. Nacha prana sango navai panchavayu. Nava sapta dhatu nava panchakosha. Navakapani padam nachapasthapayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Pain is there. Mind says suffering is there. Then what you are doing? I am not the breath, nor the five elements. I am not the matter, because the matter consists of all these five sheaths. Nor I am the speech and hands and the feet. I am pure consciousness. Your mind says, declares, in the presence of the symptoms, you have a grief. but internally you repeat. Brandy's boyfriend father died. So you see, social convention. Sorry to read that message. I have to attend the funeral. I said, attend the funeral, but be calm and peace inside. That level of awareness we need to break the cycle of doing the same thing again and again and again and expecting a different result. Have you seen some people? Oh, oh, that died, the grandfather died, and you go home and you also start crying. You are crazy. How to drop the individuality, the false side at the mental level. Pay attention. It will alarm you. And Name dvesh rago name lobh moho madau naiva meneva matsarya bhava na dharmo na chartho na kamo na moksha chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Can you think of the genius of this master who might have experienced these symptoms out of which this poetry came? What it means, dropping the false I, dominated by the mind. There is no like or dislike in me, no greed, no delusion. I know not the pride and jealousy. I have no duty, no desire for the wealth or lust or liberation. I am the pure consciousness. I'm simply saying you think in those lines in the presence of those symptoms in your life. What will happen? Anesthesia had asked a couple of questions, so now I'm answering. I was waiting. This like and dislike will remain in the world, but why it should enter into me, my mind? Jealousy and hatred will remain present in the world. That is the nature of the social consciousness. Question is, I'm not affected by it. But those who are seekers, they continue the journey, they can realize the importance of this. And then, fourth sheet, na, na punyam, na papam, na sokyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtho, na veda, na yajna. Aham bhojanam bhojyam na bhokta chidan Nandarupa Shivoham Shivoham. The fourth line is the similar Chidananda Rupa. I am of the nature of absolute existence, consciousness, bliss. I have nothing to do with the five sheaths. So, how the five sheaths attack? How the five sheath, if I say attacks on the real self by creating a false I that says, in terms of the effect, no virtue or vice, no pleasure or pain belongs to me. I need no mantras because I want an instant treatment. But that instant treatment comes to only those who are a seeker. Otherwise, we become a singer and it doesn't affect. I need no mantra, no pilgrimage, no scriptures, no ritual. I'm not the experienced. I am not the experience itself. I am not the experiencer. If I'm eating the food, it means what is experience food? Who is an experiencer? I, that is the false I. And the process between the two is the experience. I'm not the experiencer, experienced. You want the mind should go beyond all the three. Then who am I? I'm the real self. I'm pure consciousness. So you crushed the fourth seed. What about the fifth one? न मे मृत्यु शंका न मे जाति भेद पिता नैव मे नैव मात्सर्य भाव न बंधुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्य चिदानंद रूप शिवोहम शिवोहम. At the level of the intellectual, at the level, yes, at the level of ignorance, the fifth sheet. So what the master says, I have no fear of the death. Death is ignorance. No caste, no creed. I am higher than you, teacher is higher than you, and the seeker is lower. No, there is nothing that exists. Then it challenges our belief system. I have no father, no mother, for I was never born. That real self is never born. So how can you claim that I have parents? Are you getting it? With reference to the real self, but with reference to the false side, yes, we have parents, we have society, everything is there. So internally, it doesn't mean that you go to your dad and you say, you are not my father, you are not my mother. Why? Because I'm an enlightened guy. No, you are the craziest guy. We follow the social convention outside, and inside we know. I have no fear of the death. Why fear of the death? Because real self never dies. So there is no birth. So it means there is no birth and death. So question of being parents. I have no father, no mother, for I was never born. I am not a relative, not a friend, not a teacher, not a student. Where is the teacher in me? Tell me. There is no teacher. You think it's your problem. I am the pure consciousness and bliss. And then comes the last, not by singing, but instant impact on the five koshas when you have any symptoms. First, you recognize which kosha is dominant, if you remember, and then he comes. What a beautiful way he presents. Now he says, who am I? All the four lines on the real self. Aham nirvikalpo nirakar rupo vibhutvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam nacha sangatam naiva muktir namiya chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. Even if you sing with an understanding, I can tell you the 80% of your suffering due to ignorance, that ignorance goes away. So what it says, aham nirvikalpo nirakar rupo, aham nirvikalpo nirakar rupo. That real self has no shape in the size. How it can suffer? Nirvikalpo. There is no conflict and confusion in that real self. It is of the nature of pure conscious. How can the space have a conflict? House may have a conflict. Water anywhere, in India or any part of the world, it is the same. Nirvikalpo vibhutuvacha sarvatra sarvendriyanam. That consciousness is pervading everywhere, in anything and everything. Nachasang. So where comes the question of attachment and detachment? I am Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am pure consciousness. Thought contains the knowledge. Thought, poetry is a thought. So thought is equal to, do you remember? We discussed mathematical equation. Thought is equal to object plus I. Did you get it? When I say I know Stephen, Stephen is an object plus I. So this is the thought. Look at it. I love Oleg. See, anesthesia smile. So I love. So Oleg is my fiancé, and I. So Oleg plus I. I have lot of stress. Stress plus I. False I. False I. Are you getting it? I have lot of pain. Pain plus I. So this I is false, and pain is also false, caused by the five sheaths. Are you getting it? Say yes. I'm getting it. Even if you don't get it, it's okay. Oh, so now what is happening when I'm singing? Pick up any one. So I said thought, that is what the poetry is equal to object. What is the object? Object is real self. And what is the I? I is also the real self. Miracle. That is the magic. It doesn't happen, when you sing it. But when you understand, you sing with understanding. You sing with an understanding and you have an acute pain in the body. This has to go. I can tell you. Are you understanding? I came to the last point. Thought is equal to object plus I. So how to recognize it's a false I? So mathematical equation. So if I say I have lot of stress, so this is a thought is equal to stress plus I. Now bring the I on the left side. I is equal to thought minus object. What is the object? Symptom. What is the symptom? Stress. Thought. So when you minus the very object pain, you remember the five koshas. You remember the five koshas instantly, and they are none of them belongs to me or mine. I am none of them. So where the thought goes, this is one way of doing it. The other way of doing it. So when we say Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham, I am real self. This is a thought. Is equal to object. What is object? Real self. Who is I? Real self. Who is expressing? Mind. So let the mind express. Let the car express through the movement, transportation. Let the phone express. Who cares? I'm already settled there. Tell David and Jerry you must listen to this again and again. They are missing. So, and others, look at it. I lose awareness of the very thought that I express. Then only I become angry, agitated, reactive. And what is that awareness? Is the real self. So from the real self, I migrated to the five sheaths. Five sheath creates a false I. False I said, how dare you? Tell the five sheaths, how dare you are creating problem in my life. Don't dare anyone outside. Because if you are daring outside that you have been doing for so many years and expecting a different result, it will never happen. We'll have one more session on this. 6. Aham nirvikalpo nirakar rupo vibhutvac sarvatra sarvendriyanam. That is all pervading consciousness I am. All pervading. So then your mind comes and mind says, no, that I am not present in my enemy. I'm present in my friend. And that superimposition is done by the five koshas. And then you are caught in suffering. And then you say, why I have suffering? Eyes are closed. Body is steady. Eyes are closed. The body is steady. The mind is facing within.